Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Fanatically Speaking. I am Kent. I am the solo host today for the episode, which means probably that it's going to be a wrestling episode. Yes, so today is a wrestling episode. I'm going to do a Royal Rumble recap, breakdown, whatever you want to call it. We had the two, the women's Royal Rumble, the men's Royal Rumble, and then the AJ Styles, Gunther retirement match, and also had the WWE Championship match with Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre. So I want to get into all those matches. Few surprises on the night, day, however you look at it, however you watched it. And then also there were some not a lot of shock in some, and then a little bit of a letdown. There's a few letdowns in the night as well, and I'm gonna get into all that and see if I was right on any of my picks that were going to win from a previous episode, win the Rumble matches, and then where do we go from here? Again, what does everything mean that happened at the Royal Rumble? So first, let's get into the women's Royal Rumble match. Again, I got a lot of took a lot of notes watching. Things that just popped up, came to my mind. So let's get this out here. Rhea Ripley's the biggest star, the biggest female women's wrestler they have, right? She gets the biggest pop. They're checking that, that meter on the crowd noise. She gets pyro. She gets it all. Again, she's a star. Even though she's in a tag team right now with Io Sky, even in the Royal Rumble, you want her to win, but But again, that's like a huge thing that I got. She got a huge pop from Saudi Arabia, and again, she's the biggest star. It's just when does she get back to the title picture, main event picture, not just the tag team? I know there's a story, and they're gonna go somewhere with it with her and Io eventually, but. It kind of sucks not having her in the, a big match, to have that one-on-one match with somebody. But we'll have to wait. One of those people, one of those other superstars you could see a potential in the future is Lash Legend. Recently caught up from the NXT on SmackDown, kind of with a partnership with Nia Jax. But Lash Legend had a big showing in the Rumble. A lot of eliminations. She lasted a really long time. Now, with that being said, the crowd was not happy with Lash Legend. There was chants of overrated as she was making it down to the, almost at the end of the Rumble. So, yeah, Saudi Arabia, not a fan of Lash Legend. I definitely took that away from watching the match. She got a big reaction from the crowd when, Rhea Ripley eliminated Lash. They were super happy that she was gone. Let's see. My girl, Chelsea Green, another great showing. Everything she did, the way she acted out, everything in the match. Tried to have a moment with Rhea Ripley. Ultimately got her eliminated. But, like I said, she was doing her normal thing. Had a cool little spot where Alba Fire was kind of like a surfboard bridge table for her, so her feet did not hit the ground, and she was able to keep on moving along with Alba Fire and stay in the match. But again, she did not win. But I think there's still great things for her, no matter what they say on Unreal. Chelsea Green could be a main event at WrestleMania. She could be the champion if she wanted to. They just have to make it happen. But she's definitely got what it takes. I always notice, again, I talked about Julia on the last episode, how she gets no reaction, nothing from the crowd. And she really didn't get it again in the Royal Rumble. She was in there for a long time. But again, really no, even in Saudi Arabia. They're not caring about Julia. They didn't care about Zelina Vega. It was just kind of like, oh, here's another wrestler. Here's another entrant in the Royal Rumble. But yeah, I just noticed no pop, no reaction from the crowd for either one of those. I would argue that Kiana James had a good showing too, not just Last Legend, but yeah, Kiana James had a really good showing. And again, to me, once again, not saying Julia can't wrestle. Like, Julia can wrestle, but again, she doesn't have the other. She's still missing something to connect with the crowd. Kiana James was getting crowd reactions. Super athletic, looks good in the ring. Again, Again, when does she branch off from Julia? Because right now, you could put her up there. Like I said, really what I took away from this women's match was Lash Legend, again, good showing. Kiana James, really good showing too, lasting a good bit and performing well in the match. The big surprise of the match was Brie Bella making a comeback to the WWE into the Royal Rumble. She got with Nikki, her sister. They did Twin Magic. Again, great showing. A lot of spots in the match. Ultimately eliminated by Lash Legend. And but she definitely showed, got a nice reaction, getting yes chants, getting her hubby Brian Danielson, whatever you want to call him, getting those yes chants, and that was pretty cool to see as she did some of the moves of him too with the kicks. So that was a good spot, good stuff there. That was the one big surprise, and I guess that was pretty much it, right? Another good showing that I wanted to mention, Sol Ruca. Unbelievable, by the way. Like, yeah, maybe there I left her out just a minute ago, but yeah, I have it down here. Sol Ruca, every time she wrestles, every time I see her in a match, I mean, she does it. Yeah, the Soul Snatcher. I mean, again, just everything she does is amazing. And I really, there for a minute, thought she could win. There for a moment, I honestly thought she could win the match. Didn't turn out that way, but again, you can tell she's an up-and-coming star, and they've got their eyes on her, Lash Legend. And again, throw Kiana James in there. Don't leave her out. A couple surprises, and not that they were in the Royal Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble. I just think it was a little bit like because they were so late in the Rumble, and that's Kairi Sane and Kalani Jordan. Little shocked to see Kalani Jordan in the match. She did fine, but wasn't blown away. Wouldn't put her in that same category as I just did with Lash Legend and Kiana James and Sol Ruca, but she was fine. Looks like she's got, again, you've seen her wrestle, but now on the big stage, it's how does it connect? How does it, translate? How does it fit in? But, just shocked that her and Sane were so late entrants, no kind of big surprises. Of course, everything set up with Sane eliminating Asuka by accident, and then she got eliminated by Io. So, that will create whatever tension it creates. The big tension that's going to be created, obviously, was Liv Morgan eliminating Raquel Rodriguez after Raquel had eliminated Rhea Ripley. And that was a big elimination for Raquel to eliminate Rhea. Great ending, by the way. Came down to Morgan. Tiffany Stratton was the number 30 entrant. So good to see her back. But it was Morgan, Tiffy, and Sol Ruca, and all three hanging onto the ropes on the apron, right outside the ropes, and Tiffy eliminating Ruca, and then Liv eliminating Tiffy. Great finish, perfectly done. Liv Morgan, I did not have as a pick to win. If you listen to the other episode, I had. Bianca Belair, Tiffany Stratton, and maybe Chelsea Green. It was a long shot, but that didn't happen. So again, we get Liv Morgan. She's always been a runner-up a couple times, I think. So finally wins. She's going to WrestleMania. So again, tension though. She eliminated Raquel, and obviously Raquel's battling with Stephanie Vicaire now. So that which way is Liv Morgan going to go? Which title? That makes for interesting. Television leading up to WrestleMania 42. Liv Morgan wins. Raquel still looks strong, even though she got eliminated by Morgan, because she eliminated Rhea Ripley, and she had a good showing in the Rumble itself. Tiffany's still a star, even though she didn't win. She's runner up. There'll be a match for it at Mania. And then, like I said, Kiana James is better than Julia. These are the big takeaways from that Women's Royal Rumble was, good for Liv Morgan. Raquel still looks strong. My three up and comers looking strong. Tiffany's still a star, and it has to be said, the two that are together right now, one's a United States champion, even though Chelsea Green should still be the United States champion in my mind. And but yeah, like I said, Kiana James is better than Julia. So that's my takeaway from the women's match. The other big takeaway was missing, and I was hoping was going to be in it. Obviously, Bianca Belair. I thought maybe would come back, and this would lead to something. That didn't happen. So I don't know what's going on there. You would think she would be back in time for Mania. And then the other one, I thought maybe AJ Lee. You set something up for her and Becky Lynch, but that didn't happen either. So I was expecting both of them in the Mania, in the Rumble. Instead we get Zelina Vega, Kairi Sane, and Kalani Jordan. So somewhere in there, I wish they could have fit in AJ Lee, Bianca Belair, but we didn't. So on to the next match. And the next match was the AJ Styles Gunther match. It was the retirement. If AJ Styles did not win, he would have to retire. We already know Gunther obviously retired Goldberg last year and John Cena in his last match. Now, John Cena was going to retire anyways, but Gunther, he did beat him in his last match, so technically he retired him. And same for Goldberg. It was his retirement match. This was not, this was just a stipulation. Really great match. Really, just, close calls. Back and forth. AJ doing Gunther's moves. He gave him all he had. Just ultimately, Gunther just got him with, the sleeper, put him to sleep completely. He didn't smile and tap out like John Cena. He didn't tap out at all. And again, very good storytelling. Very good to say, will he, won't he? How can they do this match? How will it end? Will it happen? Will it really happen, right? Is this real? Already AJ going to retire. We're just in January, about to be February. Thought we was going to get a year of them. So, yeah. So AJ loses. He is going to have to retire per the stipulations. But at the end, as he's getting his flowers, as the crowd is chanting his name, as they are cheering for him, he does something. He starts to take off his gloves. A lot of wrestlers like John Cena puts his shoes. You put your boots in the middle of the ring, you're done. So AJ was going to put his gloves in the middle of the ring. So he takes them off and he kind of teases putting them down. The crowd's like, no, no, no. And he keeps on, and ultimately he does not put them in. He puts them back on, does his pose to the crowd, and then, of course, slowly walks out. But what does that mean? And everyone wants to translate and try to figure out, dissect, what does that mean? He put his gloves back on. So, I can only say a few things, right? It's either like there's some loophole we will end up getting to keep AJ Styles in WWE. What is that? I don't know. It's wrestling. Like, we can figure out something, right? Or, again, he started in TNA. That's where he became a star first. And TNA has a good relationship with the WWE, so I could very well see him going to TNA, finish out his career there, maybe go after the title one more time. And that would be big for TNA. And I think, maybe that's the send-off he wants, at TNA. For all those that thinks he's going to go to AEW, I don't think that's going to happen. Like I said, I don't know if you've heard his reaction to that question, but he basically laughed and was like, but that's not happening. So at this stage in his career, why go to AEW? Yeah, he could get more views, get more eyeballs on him going to TNA, or again, maybe there's a way he stays in WWE. I don't know what that way that would be, but don't want to see him go yet. But again, great match. Just already the matches I've seen, one of the best ones of the year already. And again, no surprise there. Gunther normally puts on a really good match. AJ always performs. So pretty good stuff. We'll see what's next for Gunther as well. And we'll talk about him in a little bit too. Next match, probably don't have as much to say about this. Drew McIntyre defending the WWE Championship against Sami Zayn. And they really wanted to make you believe that Sami Zayn had a chance to win this match. Obviously, he's always the underdog. He's never been the champion, a world champion. He was 0-11 against Drew McIntyre. He's in Saudi Arabia, right? Almost like a home field advantage for him, right? Saudi or Canada, that's Sami's spots. So, the match went basically how I thought it would go, right? I mean, a basic match. Few big spots where Drew finally got him on the table, signed on the table. Ultimately gives him, a couple claymores, puts him out of his misery, beats him easily, to me. And the question I have is, how many times do we need to do this with Sami Zayn, right? Like you thought he was going to beat Roman Reigns, he didn't, and that would have been dumb. I don't care what anybody says. That was his probably best shot. This was thrown together. Again, he wins, a fatal four-way, and now he's in the title picture with Drew McIntyre. So it wouldn't have made sense for him to win anyways. Wouldn't have made sense for WrestleMania. I just don't think he's there yet. It's just not the right time. But again, can we just do, if you're going to do it, do a bigger build-up, have something. I think for Sammy, it would take like a Money in the Bank type of win to get him a title. I don't want to watch the underdog story anymore from him. I'm not a huge Sami Zayn fan, but it's all good. I respect him, great wrestler, but again, it's got to be the right story, got to be the right timing. This was definitely not it. So I don't know where he goes from here. Like I said, I don't want to see him wrestle Kevin Owens again. And I don't want to go down this road again of the poor Sami Zayn never had a championship story. Just, think of something else creatively for him. And again, Money in the Bank would be something. That would be, that's a way to put the title on him and then build off of that. And also, I don't think it's going to happen. And this is the thing, man. It doesn't have to happen like, for him to be a baby face. Maybe he needs to get mean. Maybe he needs to get mad. Maybe he needs to turn heel, and then maybe he can get the title. Happens for a lot of guys, and maybe that's what Sami Zayn needs, is just to, again, turn heel. That, or again, Money in the Bank. There's different ways to get to that championship picture and to get that title, other than, out of nowhere winning it and going to WrestleMania, or even winning it at WrestleMania. Maybe one day, but today's not the day. All right, so last we got the Men's Royal Rumble, and I took a lot of notes in this one. Way more than I did for the women's. Just more going on, a lot going on. I think different stories to be told. Out the box, Obafemi, as I keep saying, he is going to be a star. Again, his promo, on SmackDown with Cody, then his performance on Saturday Night's Main Event was just amazing. And again, as soon as he come out, the crowd's in it. He's got the entrance. He's got the music. He's got the swag. He's got it all right now. And then he, of course, dominated. Now, his first elimination was a little controversial. Only that the second man coming to the ring was an entrant, was Braun Breaker. And we knew that from the pre-show when Paul Heyman kind of spilled the beans on that and he was all mad. Well, Braun Breaker didn't even make it to the ring. as Jim Cornette says, lazy booking here, because once again we have another mysterious mystery individual in a black hoodie. We've seen this with Braun Breaker last year when he joined the Vision. We've seen it with R-Truth when he came back after being fired. Then we've seen it with Austin Theory, when he joined the Vision. And then we've seen it with Jacob Fatu when he, came in and messed up, obviously costing Cody the title in the cage match with Drew McIntyre. So here we are again, another man in the black hoodie, right? Obviously, I said Theory was the black hoodie, but he did it a couple times and eventually, was revealed as the guy. But, it's like, how many times are we going to keep putting the mystery people in black hoodies? Can we do something different? But anyways, man in the black hoodie. He has all the moves of Seth Rollins, takes out Braun Breaker, throws him in the ring. Obafemi eliminates Braun Breaker. So the question already is, who is this mystery man? First thing to come to mind, even when we saw this with Austin Theory, was it's Seth Rollins, right? He's coming for revenge. He's doing something. He's still connected. However the case may be, this would make more sense that it's Seth Rollins because he came after Braun Breaker, the man who speared him and kicked him out of his own group and took the lead, right? It would make sense that it's Seth Rollins to lead to a WrestleMania 42 match and get some revenge on them. Now, I had two other thoughts on who it could be. I was not originally thinking one guy, but the one I was. And when Theory came out, obviously he came out later in the Rumble. And originally when they thought it was Theory to begin with, before he was revealed, it was like maybe he's with maybe Rollins is getting his own group to go against the Vision, blah, blah, blah. And again, it could still be that, right? Maybe it was Theory that took him out. Maybe Theory is working for Rollins. I don't know. One of those, that's a thought. And the other is Finn Balor. He's mad still. He didn't get in the Royal Rumble. Obviously, he messed up Punk, and he took out Punk and messed up him and Styles' match on Raw. So maybe he's just still mad, and maybe he took out Breaker. I don't know. But that's the three people, Rollins, Theory, or Balor. We shall see. Next up was that poor old Rusev got done dirty. He barely got in the Rumble and got eliminated. Now, no shame getting eliminated, by Obafemi. He also, eliminated, a few others there in the beginning. He had a dominant performance. Oba was rolling. But I've just felt like Rusev. I was like, man, he just got in him. Like, come on. Like, we're making him look weak that he gets eliminated that quick. But that was a little, I just said he got done dirty. Let's see here. Javon Evans. He was exciting. He is super athletic, super young, obviously at 21, doing big things, and he has only up to go as a performer. Pretty good gimmick as well already, but let's see where he goes, right? But cool to see him, Oba, perform and do big things in the match. I thought both of them had good showings. They had the nice little spot with Trick Williams, a little NXT reunion of Javon, Trick, and Oba. Let's see. Had a, kind of a surprise, right? We got Mr. Iguana in the match. I'm not mad that he's in the match, right? We've seen him on AAA. We've seen him on WWE programming. So not that mad that Mr. Iguana was in there. It just seemed like Saudi Arabia wasn't sure about him. I don't think that Saudi Arabia watches AAA, by the way. And I'll have more to say about that in a minute. But yeah, so Mr. Iguana, not a lot of love, no big pop. Nobody really cared about his puppet. It was what it was. He tried to do his, his spots and his gimmick, and it just didn't get over. The crowd did love Trick Williams, and they were chanting "Whoop that Trick" when he came to the ring. That was very noticeable. So they do watch NXT, obviously, because like I said, Oba, big reaction. Trick Williams, big reaction. Now he's on SmackDown, but they were definitely chanting "Whoop that trick." Cody noticed he got a huge entrance, huge pop, big pyro. They were singing his song. So yeah, Saudi, big Cody Rhodes fans. Uh, we got both El Grande Americanos. So the current one, and then it said when he came to the ring, the original. So kind of cool. In Saudi, it didn't get exactly the reaction and the love. I don't think that it maybe would get back here in America, but you know, I'm not mad at it. Pretty cool. Then we got Royce Key's debut in the WWE, formerly Powerhouse Hobbs of AEW. He got a little pyro too. Got a little graphic that said Powerhouse Hobbs. And I'm like, wait a minute, I thought his name was gonna be Royce Keys, and it just broke away, and it revealed Royce Keys as his new name in the WWE. Good showing, looked good, powerful. Got a couple spots with some other bigger guys. We'll see what happens with him, but another AEW, whatever you want to call them, they left for the big time. So we'll see where he goes. What's next for him? Ilya Dragunov, he doesn't move the needle for me or the crowd. Same went for Austin Theory. They've tried so many things with Austin Theory, and I said this before on the other. They've tried so much with him. It just doesn't work for whatever reason with this dude. I think it worked better when he was taking selfies and kind of being that arrogant prick. But right now, the angry theory in the vision theory not working. Not sure again. Like maybe he's in the black hood. I don't know, but that's not working. So he doesn't move the needle. And like I said, Ilya Dragunov to me doesn't move the needle. Great performer, great wrestler. I think he's had some good matches with Carmelo Hayes. Had that U.S. title open challenge going. Not that it's kind of weird that he got the U.S. title. They kind of passed it around there for a minute. Do like Carmelo Hayes with it, but yeah, Dragunov again in the Rumble. Not a lot of reaction. And speaking of no reaction, once again, La Parka from AAA in the Royal Rumble, and Saudi Arabia. Again, I said not fans of AAA or Mexican wrestlers. They had no reaction. Could care less about La Parka, even more than they did Mr. Iguana. Let's see, LA Knight. He got a huge pop. They loved him in Saudi. Again, he is a star, and you're thinking maybe this is his time. Maybe this is his time. It just did not happen. He got a little revenge on the Vision, eliminating Bronson Reed. Not Logan Paul though. That lasted a little longer. Then we get Brock Lesnar. He comes out huge. He comes out with Paul Heyman. So that's kind of not weird and weird at the same time. So Heyman's the Vision, and he's with Brock Lesnar now. And they're not connected. But we get that. Then I've just got here, why Rey Fenix? Again, I get Mystery Iguana. I don't get La Parka, and I don't get Rey Fenix. Rey Fenix is not Penta. He does not get the same love, but yet he is in the Royal Rumble. Again, I'll go back to that because it's like, who did we not get in the Royal Rumble? But this is what we got. Very interesting that we got Rey Fenix. Got Oba Brock preview, little face off, and then ultimately Brock eliminated Oba Femi, and I'm not mad at that. That's a good person to eliminate Oba Femi, and definitely hope we get that match in the future. Let's see, Jey Uso. He entered through the crowd, kind of cool for the Royal Rumble. Yeeting all over the place, and then he ran it back during the Rumble. That's kind of crazy. Almost missed by the cameraman, and they announced everybody. Cody Rhodes and LA Knight got together to eliminate Brock Lesnar, and Brock didn't go berserk and kill everybody. That that kind of shocked me. I thought for sure he would get in there and do something crazy, but he didn't. Then we get the OTC. Roman Reigns comes in. Obviously, all the pyro, all the greatness that he is. He comes in, does his thing. get a little Roman Cody tease a couple of times. They never really did do much, but again, get the tease. And yeah, let's see. LA Knight, he eliminated, and I just at this point put, they just keep holding him down and holding him back. Like, when's that dude going to get his shot? When's he going to get a true legit title opportunity? When's he going to get that real big push to the top? Because dude's a star. Crowds love him. He performs. I mean, again, you saw him on Unreal. It was a bad look the way they did him on Unreal. And again, he comes back. He did get his, like I said, he did his get back on the vision a little bit. But then, again, he's eliminated, not even in the final, 4 guys. That would have been cool to see LA Knight in the final 4 to make you think maybe it's him. Didn't happen. Randy Orton, he got up there. Saudi Arabia loves Randy Orton. They obviously singing along with his music as well. That was cool. Drew McIntyre, not in this match, comes back and he eliminates Cody Rhodes. So that will set up something here soon before Mania. It's too early to say, oh, it's going to be Cody and McIntyre at WrestleMania. No, he eliminated Cody, so Cody could not challenge for his title. They will find a way to, somehow, some way they will meet again, I believe. Now, does that involve Jacob Fatu? I don't know. And I'll get back into that here in a minute. But yeah, so he comes back to eliminate Cody. We also get Roman eliminates Jay. Also before that, he was telling Jay to run it back. Jay was going to do it while he did it. Roman hit him and fought him. Was like, hey, dude, this is a Royal Rumble. Like, what are you doing? So Roman again being the OTC, he eliminates Jay. So that should give a little bit of storyline and context, for the next time they see each other in the ring, to ask why would you do that, and it is every man for themselves. Final 4, we got Roman Reigns, Logan Paul, Gunther, and Randy Orton. Not a bad Final 4. Again, I would have loved to have seen, LA Knight get that spot, but we get, this is what we got. Not a bad 4 though. Let's see here. So we got Final 4. They kind of split off. Paul and Reigns, Gunther and Orton. Ultimately, Reigns eliminates Logan Paul. And then, Orton RKO's Reigns, but then Gunther eliminates Orton, which leaves Gunther and Reigns. I was really, really worried that it was going to be an all-heel Royal Rumble, because the previous 3 matches, again, Liv Morgan heel, Gunther heel, McIntyre heel, it has to be a babyface win, the men's Rumble, and ultimately we do get the OTC. Roman Reigns wins the Royal Rumble, again as a good guy, but this time the crowd is happy that he won, unlike the first time he won when he was being forced down their throat. But this time, he was one of my picks. So I did get the women's right, but the men, I did have, 5 names. It was going to be, again, Cody, Roman, Braun Breaker, Gunther, or LA Knight. So I did get, again, I had 5 picks, but, again, I explained why it makes sense for Roman Reigns to win the match, because, again, he can either go after CM Punk, who is the World Heavyweight Champion, or whomever will be the WWE Champion, because I'm not sold it's going to be Drew McIntyre. Again, I am rooting for a Cody Roman 3. That is the type of main event you want to see at a WrestleMania, or Roman CM Punk. That, again, is the type of match you want to see at WrestleMania, especially in the main event. Again, I mentioned earlier why La Parka, why Rey Fenix, because those are 2 spots, and I had 2 other names, and this was what I was getting at was there's 2 people who we did not get a surprise. We did not get Chris Jericho. We thought, everybody has been talking about this, that Chris Jericho was coming back and it was going to be at the Royal Rumble. We did not get it. That was a letdown, because there really were no surprises, outside of, Breaker getting taken out, McIntyre showing up to, cost Cody. Mr. Iguana is not a surprise. Chad Gable, or original El Grande Americano is not a surprise. That is big. We knew Keys was going to make his debut. We already heard that. La Parca and Ray Phoenix doesn't move the needle for me as well. Again, so no Jericho, and again, like I said, personally, one of my favorites at the moment, entrance, everything, Kit Wilson. How do we not have Kit Wilson in the Royal Rumble? But we get Ray Phoenix and La Parca. Like, get out of here. So very disappointed in that. So we'll have to see what the fallout is going forward on Raw, SmackDown. Again, we got, the Elimination Chamber, so it'd be interesting to see there. Again, if I had to say right now, again, I could see Liv Morgan not going after Jade Cargill. She's going to go after, Stephanie Vicaire, and of course Raquel Rodriguez is entwined in that already because there's already a feud. So should be interesting in the Judgment Day with that. And then again, I think Roman could go either way. It's a win-win. Now again, I don't think he'll go McIntyre. You know what I mean? Unless there's something else there for Cody. But again, if you're talking about what do you want to see at WrestleMania, like I said on the last episode, you want to see the biggest and the best stars. And, if it's Reigns and Punk, great. And then you maybe get Cody and Drew. But definitely, whatever Roman whatever he picks. I mean, again, he's the main event. It would be interesting to see him and Cody one more time. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. But yeah, so that's that. Again, that is another episode of Fanatically Speaking. This time a solo hosting job by me, Kent. Again, you can listen to us on all podcast outlets. Wherever there's a podcast outlet, go listen to us. We're everywhere. Follow us on social media to keep up with what episodes we have released and other videos or content that we may put out there. We are on Facebook, Twitter. Not Twitter. We're not on Twitter. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can even listen to us on YouTube. And again, like I always say, tap that app. And again, doing wrestling, had to do the Royal Rumble. And again, just, it's fun for me, but for the show as well, we do all these other ones. So yeah, again, go like, follow, share, listen, all the fun stuff that you can do. And again, that is another episode of Fanatically Speaking.